Do 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 do.
Please make welcome now a lady whom you know so well as Judy Bryant from Prisoner. And if your memories go back even further than that, she was one of the original stars of the Tonight Show era on the Seven Network, Betty Bobbitt. Well,
Oh, wow, isn't he good?
he is terrific, is
He's
Joe.
fantastic.
And I'm told by the way that his bride-to-be is a delightful lady, and I know they'll be very happy. Betty, do you go back as far as the Tonight Show era on the Seven Network in your mind?
Well, yes, I do. When I first came here, we didn't even rehearse shows in those days. We'd just sort of come in and go on and do it. And that was back in the days of '62, when I was 4 years old. I remember it well.
You worked with D'Lo and Daly and Jonathan
No,
Daly
I never
especially.
worked with D'Lo, Bert. I worked with John Daly, because there were two shows. There was first D'Lo and Daly, and then John went on to do something on his own. And that's when he brought me out here at that time. It was like the Johnny Carson show.
Yep, sure.
Only better, you know.
I think in many respects, actually, Jonathan Daly doing that show was really ahead of his time, wasn't he?
He certainly was. He was terrific talent. And unfortunately, he came back just a couple of years ago, but the people's memories, they're so short, you know. And it didn't work out for him.
Well, that was very sad, actually, because he came back for me on a Tonight Show I was doing on the Nine Network. We brought back D'Lo and Daly, and we expected the bookings for the hotel engagements and so forth to be sensational. But people, unfortunately, in droves, just didn't remember. Maybe it was our fault. Perhaps we should have promoted it a
Maybe
little more.
people that used to watch D'Lo and Daly, they don't go out to the theatre, you know, to the clubs as much as, you know, they used to. I don't know what the answer is. Who knows?
Anyway, the great thing is Jonathan is very happy and he's working back in America.
Doing very well.
Betty, I think the interesting thing with yourself is that you decided at one stage to go back to
Oh,
America.
tell me about. Well, after Prisoner, I did a play. I was in Prisoner for 5 years. So.
Got a shot of you actually as
Oh, have
Judy.
you? And so it was 5 years, and I was writing something, and I was really keen to finish this. It was English theatrical history, and I needed time to be on my own to write it. And I have a brother I hadn't seen in 20 years, and he had a wife and 3 children, and they're my only living relatives. My parents are dead. My mother was an orphan, so on and so on. You know, that was the only living relative. I thought, what a wonderful opportunity to go home, live with my brother. This is a person who doesn't understand family, by the way. Go home, live with my brother, take my sons with me. I'll get on well with the sister-in-law and the dear 3 little children. Well, my brother is a very shy, quiet man, and the 3 little children were prejudiced twits, and my sister-in-law was a major dragon. I'm not talking a little dragon, I'm talking major dragon, you know. She had steam coming out of her ears, and she was too much for me. I think I'm a pretty strong woman, but boy, did I, whoa. So it broke my heart, and I learned a lot, though. I went back to the old Catholic school that I used to go to as a kid, and I went and knocked on the door and talked to the nuns, and they didn't remember me. And it was so long ago. And then there was a street where I used to walk around from the church to the school. And every time I did that, which was every day, I would talk in the line. And the nuns would say, "Out, Bobbitt, out, you know, no talking in this line." So I said to my son, I'm going to walk this walk from the church to the school, and I'm not going to talk, and I'll do it once. Nearly there, I said, "I'm doing it."
And you talked.
So I couldn't do it even then.
So Betty Bobbitt is your real name?
Of course.
Oh, it's a theatrical
My
name.
mother's name was Betty, and she married Bobbitt, and they thought it was so cute they decided to burden me with it. But I like it because people remember it.
And it's a great theatrical name,
It's
isn't
a
it?
great theatrical name.
Betty, when you were talking about the fact that your mother was an orphan and you have no family with the exception of your brother and those children that you love so much.
Dear little brats.
Well, I mean, life obviously was pretty rough for you early in the piece.
How early in the piece? As a kid. It was a rough childhood. My father was half Indian, Cherokee Indian, and my mother lived with her adopted parents, and they were very elderly, so I had to be quiet. I was always told to shut up. That's probably why I talk so much. And so it wasn't a very happy childhood, but Philadelphia is why because I was raised in Philadelphia, is why I love Melbourne. They're so similar.
How did you get to Australia, or why did you come to
John
Australia?
Daly brought me out. John Daly saw me. I was doing a play in Los Angeles because I was working in theatre then. And I went to Los Angeles and I was doing Agnes Gooch in Auntie Mame. And he came backstage. We had a mutual friend. And he said, he thought I was very funny. And he said, would you like to come to Australia? I said, oh, sure, ring my agent, you know. Well, he did. And within a very short time, I arrived. And I actually lived with John and his wife for, 8 months or something. And my contract was with HSV7. That was in the old days of DYT.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do very well, the production company. Betty, what about Prisoner? I mean, that's certainly more recent, and it really shot you to fame. Do you regret in any way that you took on that ongoing character?
Oh, no, never. Theatrically, see, I mainly worked in theatre after I had Oliver, my 15-year-old. And that was what I was originally trained in. So theatre really suited me. To get into television, again, as an actor instead of a personality, was exactly what I wanted to do. And the character was a wonderful character. And it was such a great cast.
It was the warmest character, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a lovely character. And the women were wonderful that I was working with. And it was, I probably stayed too long. I think 5 years is a very long time to be in a series. And I got very fat towards the end. I was about 230 pounds when I left Prisoner. So obviously I was a bit unhappy. It was a lot of pressure. But no, I never regretted it and I loved it. They were very good to me. And
you look terrific. You
thanks.
Look just absolutely wonderful.
I made a lot of friends. Walking around the corridors here at Channel 7, every turn I meet someone that I haven't seen in 100 years, you know, so it's a real buzz.
Well, it's been great seeing you, Betty, and good luck in all that you do.
Thank you very much, Bert.
Betty Bobbitt. And lovely to have you back on the 7 Network.